Hey everyone, Reid Henrichs with Ridge. Purpose of today's video is to talk about what's been going on the last couple of weeks. As you can see, we've got a nice blizzard here in late March in Tennessee due to all that global warming. You know, I know that it usually gets cooler, when it gets warmer, but heads I win, tails you lose. Don't worry about that. So here we are, and it's amidst all this craziness going on, the absurd positions of the left when it comes to firearms, or any position in general. I just want you to understand something, that in order to be a leftist, in order to be a progressive, you have to take two diametrically opposed positions on every idea. Let me give you an example. It's for the kids. It's okay to have an abortion. We want to make everyone safer, gun-free zones that end up killing people. Other examples are that it's getting cooler while it's getting warmer, while it's getting cooler. You have to take two diametrically opposed positions on everything in order to do it, because there's no logical consistency. But let's take a law, for example, that Florida just passed. You cannot be 18 to buy any long guns anymore. So no shotguns, no rifles as an 18-year-old. So no AR-15s if you're 18. You have to wait till you're 21. I want you to think about the absurdity of the following position. You can be drafted against your will by the state when you're 18 years old. In fact, all of you high schoolers out there that are going to turn 18, you're going to have to register for selective service. You're going to have to put your name in a database in the event of some war that the United States wants to get itself in, can involuntarily disrupt your life and force you into uniform carrying the very similar weapon to what you're not even legally allowed to buy. Like, I want you to think about how absurd that is. See, when I was 17, I joined the Marines, all right? I was 17. And I was carrying a rifle in defense of this country when I was 17 years old. But if I was today in the state of Florida, I would not be allowed to buy an AR-15. And an M16 and AR aren't the same gun. Obviously, anybody with half a brain knows that. But they are similar. I just think about the absurdity of that. You can have your life interrupted and pressed into service involuntarily against your will. Whether you want to go or not is irrelevant to them. And then they will give you a gun that is more potent than the one that you're not even legally allowed to buy. Isn't that absurd? Like, I want you to think about that. That's one of those positions out there that people just can't even contemplate. The other thing I want to talk about here is these is public policy being dictated by minors. Okay, well, they're not minors. They're 18, 19 years old, some of them. And when is it that the nation looks to teenagers for guidance on a topic? Shouldn't it be the teenagers that look to adults, people with experience, people that have knowledge on the topic at hand? Like, shouldn't that be what, at least that's what it's always been until recently. But I guess the motto of the left is make the abnormal normal. I mean, that's what they strive to do. Anything that is abnormal becomes mainstream, and anything that has traditionally been acceptable becomes the fringe position, according to them. Of course, we know that they are the lowest percentage of people in this country. I think that the left is very good at finding weird people and putting them on the news, and all of a sudden that becomes the default position of people in America, which it's not true. It's a absolute outlier as far as people are concerned. But we got these kids out there talking about, you need to fear us and we're the future and blah, blah, blah. Hey, shut up, dude. Shut your mouth. Like, you're not an expert on firearms. You're not an expert on firearms anymore because you're involved in a school shooting. You're not an expert on firearms or their defensive application. You do not understand what people need during deadly force. You do not understand what happens to you during deadly force except to run away pissing and crapping your pants while everybody's afraid. There are 18-year-olds in this country right now running towards gunfire because that's their duty. That's what they're designed to do. There's police officers not much older than you, okay? Not much older than you that run towards the sound of gunfire every day. So you're most certainly not a moral authority on firearms, Just because CNN shoves a camera in your ugly mug doesn't mean that you're an expert on anything regarding firearms. So, you got to be out there, ladies and gentlemen. I want you watching this video to start questioning things a little bit deeply. I'm sure a lot of you do, but understand something, just to put things into perspective here, that you are more likely to be struck by lightning in your lifetime than you are to be shot in a school. You are more likely, in fact, many times more likely. There was a 1 in a million chance that you'll die in a school. 1 in a million. There's a 1 in 13,500 chance that you'll be struck by lightning in your lifetime. I can put those stats where I got all those numbers from. By the way, all federal government data. I'll put that in the description box below, and you can go ahead and take a look at that. So at this point, we are debating whether or not it is safer for kids to be outside than it is to go to school. Like, that's how stupid the left is. They want you to believe that there's this epidemic of shootings and violence, but the truth of the matter is that schools, it's just such a long shot of being shot in a school compared to being struck by lightning. That's what people are debating or want you to believe. They want you to believe that it's more dangerous to go to school, when in fact it's quite the opposite way around. Other way around. Look, folks, the left is not winning this debate. They can shriek and bitch and piss and moan and cry and whine all they want to, but the reality is that facts are stubborn things. Facts are stubborn things. They are not movable, and when you put them with facts, when you lay the case out in front of them, they lose 100 times out of 100, and they know it, so they have to resort to getting kids up there to pull on people's emotional heartstrings. Well, I don't argue from an emotional position. I argue, is this going to save your life? Are guns going to save your life? Yes, they are. They are used in defensive application far more than crimes in this country. Far more. Where do I get that? That was from an Obama administration study back in 2013, where his sponsored study showed that defensive firearms are anywhere between 500,000 to 800,000 defensive uses a year. Not crime, defensive uses. And you have to understand, the overwhelming majority of the time a gun is presented, they're not fired. Like, so guns do save people's lives. The absurdity of it is that people believe that they're these implements of constant death to only children. More children die from swimming pools. Fact of the matter. Fact of the matter, more children die in swimming pools than are shot with AR-15s. And if you don't like that, it hurts your feelings, you know what? Blame reality. You know, blame reality. Is that the next thing? Reality blaming? If I tell you that to live in reality, that's going to be a hate crime. That's going to be hate speech. You know, is that what's coming next? I don't know. I just think the whole thing's absurd. I know most of you watching this video think the same as well. If you found the information in the video helpful, subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Facebook. That link is down below. And if you want to get some reality-based training with firearms, come on out to Valor Ridge and we can help you do just that. This is Reid Henrichs of Valor Ridge reminding you the lessons that we learn are written on the tombstones of others. See you on the ridge.